Hi, and welcome to Mess to Mastery. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about a key topic, something that's really foundational. It is about the levels of problem solving. And when I say problems, it is problems that we tend to face in life. Now, the first level of problem solving is where you try to change your environment. What I mean by that is, let's say, for instance, someone is being rude to you and you want them to change. You want them to change how they talk to you. You want them to change how they see you. Something else happens outside. There's a storm outside, and you want the storm to stop. You want it to stop raining all the time. You want the wind to stop blowing all the time. And that's what I did this morning, right? I was thinking, oh my God, it's such a windy day. One more windy day. Oh gosh. But what I was trying to do there was fix something that's unfixable. It's beyond my powers to fix things outside of me. I can't control the weather. I can't control other people. So when you operate at this level of problem solving, where you are at looking at changing other people, changing the environment, your chances of succeeding is very limited. As convincing as it may seem that they are wrong, I am right, it is not quite possible to change someone else because you are not responsible for them. You can't hold them to account. Now, the second level of problem solving is where you work at the level of psyche or at the level of the mind. What I mean by that is when, let's say, you have anxiety about a particular interview, maybe that it's upcoming, or an exam that you're about to write, or a date that you're going to be on. You have this anxiety. You think that, oh, I'm going to be rejected and I'm not good enough for this. And whatever thought comes, and then that creates anxiety for you. Instead, you work on, okay, I will choose to go after this particular thought instead of this thought that makes me feel anxious. So instead of saying, oh, what if I get rejected? I will pursue, what if they don't reject me? What if they find me fantastic? Right? So that is an alternate thought. So you are still working at the level of the mind, the level of the psyche, but you are trying to do something different within there. Now, people that have been to a variety of therapies like CBT would know that this does work. To some extent, it works. It may not be super effective. It can also feel a bit laborious in the sense that for us to say, okay, this thought is not working, so let me find an alternate thought. End of the day, it is more thinking. It was your initial thinking in the first place that got you into this paranoia. So you're going to add more thinking, and that may or may not work very well. So I'm not saying that these are not effective. They are a great place to start. It is definitely better than you trying to change what is going on around you. You're trying to fix other people. The mind, we need to understand that it is a perception tool. It uses the sense organs as input providers, and all these inputs are processed, and we get some sort of an output. But the mind also has a lot of internal functions, which is why it is called the antakarana, the inner instrument. Now, these internal functions include memories, emotions, cognition, the thinking that we talked about, the ego, the identity, and so on. There are the multiple functions that we have wrapped up into one term called mind. I think in some ways it's an oversimplification. But when we look at just this mind level, somewhere in this part of the mind, the problem is being created. And we are employing another part of the mind to address that problem. It is sort of like having the police and the thief together. So sometimes that may not really work. We need a different strategy. Right? We need to be able to go above this mind because this very mind could have been the reason why you are in the problem. And what I mean by that is, while things happen outside us, like job loss, for example, you're made redundant all of a sudden, or loss of a loved one, these things do happen, right? But how we're going to perceive them and what we're going to make of the life events is entirely up to us. So that perception sits well within our mind. Now, these perceptions are what create our experience of life, in the sense that if I'm going to be miserable after a job loss, of course, that's a choice I have. I would describe my life as being miserable as well. But if I think that's an opportunity to revisit what I wanted to do in my life, what my purpose is, then that's what I would make of it. So the mind plays a great role in making something into a problem or an opportunity, let's say. Which is why I say that most of the problems are probably created at the level of the psyche. So if you're going to employ the level 2 of problem solving, which is the psyche itself, to resolve it, it may or may not be very effective, but it is a great starting point. You are taking the power. You're not giving away the power, asking everyone else to change. Instead, you are taking that in you, which is a great start. But the level 3 of problem solving is where real transformation happens. This level 3 is all about who you really are, connecting with your true essence, your true being, consciousness that you really are. You are merely witnessing the experience that you're going through. And as an witness, you are never affected by anything that happens outside of you. Now, when we understand who we really are and transcend the mind, what happens? When you have, you're going on an elevator and you keep going up, you begin to see things that you couldn't see from the level at which you started, right? So if you start at the level of your mind and you go rise in consciousness, you go above, you will see things differently. You will see more things. And that will help you figure out solutions that you could not have thought about if you had operated only at the level of the mind, because the mind is restricted by what it already knows. We all know that there's so much more out there to know than what we already know. So if you want to limit yourself to resolutions from that level, that may not necessarily help, or it may not be quick enough as well. So effectiveness and the speed may not be great. For that reason, the level 3 of problem solving, which is going beyond your mind, transcending your mind, in my experience, has been the most effective. It takes some practice. It takes commitment. It takes a level of conviction to start with, because we are all trained to think that we are our mind. In fact, many of us are thinking that we are our body. What is foundational to me has been that I'm neither my body nor my mind. My mind keeps changing one day after another. So who am I there if I am my mind? One day I was a baby. One day I was a teenager. And today I'm a mother, but I'm also something else. So what am I? I'm definitely not the mind. So when I indulged in that, insights flew, and I was able to time and again transcend the mind. I hope you find this helpful. I would like to hear your feedback. And if you think someone else could benefit from this, please share this with them. I'll see you in another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.